Hey, welcome back. I'm John, and as always, I'm really glad you're here. If no one has told you this today, I'm proud of you. Not because you've done something amazing, but because you're here, you showed up. And sometimes just showing up is everything. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to become someone else? Someone stronger, more confident, more disciplined, more successful? We set goals, we write lists, we try new routines, hoping that someday we'll finally feel like we've arrived. But what if I told you that the person you want to be is not out there somewhere? They're already inside you. Yeah, I know that might sound like a motivational quote on Instagram, but I want you to really sit with it. What if the version of you that you admire, dream about, and chase is already alive? Just hidden, under fear, under pressure, under years of trying to be who the world told you to be. You see, I don't think personal growth is about turning into someone new. It's about remembering. It's about peeling back the layers. It's about returning to the version of you that you were always meant to be, before the world got loud, before people told you who you should be, before you started doubting yourself. There was a time, maybe when you were a kid, when you were fearless. You were loud. You were honest. You danced without shame. You spoke your mind. You believed anything was possible. And then life happened. You got hurt. You made mistakes. You trusted people who let you down. You started thinking maybe, just maybe, you weren't enough. And so little by little, you built walls, you wore masks, you tried to improve yourself by burying the real you, not because you were fake, but because you were trying to survive. I get it. We all do it. But here's the truth, and I want you to hear this loud and clear. You're not broken. You're not starting from scratch, and you're definitely not too late. The person you want to be is not a stranger. They're you, without the fear, without the pressure, without the noise. They've been there all along, waiting for you to stop running and start listening. So today, I want us to talk about that, about how to reconnect with who you really are, about how to stop chasing perfection and start remembering your truth, because you don't need to become someone else. You just need to come home to yourself. So, how do we come home to ourselves? How do we uncover that version of us that's been buried for so long? It starts with honesty, not with the world, but with yourself. Because the truth is, most of us know what we want. We know who we are. We've just been afraid to admit it. We've been pretending, smiling when we want to cry, saying I'm fine when we feel lost, acting like we don't care when deep down we care more than anyone knows. And all that pretending, it keeps you disconnected. It creates a gap between who you are and who you show the world. That gap becomes exhausting. And one day you wake up and you don't recognize yourself. So the first step is to stop lying to yourself. Ask yourself, who am I really? What do I actually want? What parts of me have I been hiding just to be accepted? These aren't easy questions, but they're necessary, because the person you want to be isn't found in a list of goals. They're found in your truth. Sometimes we think we need to do more to grow, but often, right, growth looks like unlearning. Unlearning the idea that your worth comes from your productivity. Unlearning the belief that being vulnerable is weak. Unlearning the story that you have to be perfect to be loved. You were never meant to be a machine. You were meant to feel, to connect, to create, to live. That's why the person you want to be already lives inside you, because you were born whole. You just got disconnected. And reconnecting, They're found in your truth. Sometimes we think we need to do more to grow, but often growth looks like unlearning. Unlearning the idea that your worth comes from your productivity. Unlearning the belief that being vulnerable is weak. Unlearning the story that you have to be perfect to be loved. You were never meant to be a machine. You were meant to feel, to connect, to create, to live. That's why the person you want to be already lives inside you. Because you were born whole. You just got disconnected. And reconnecting, it doesn't mean changing your entire life overnight. It means making small choices that honor who you are. It means saying no when everything in you wants to people please. It means taking a break when your body is begging for rest. It means choosing love over fear, even if it terrifies you. Growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like crying in your car and finally admitting you're tired of pretending. Sometimes it looks like starting over, not because you failed, but because you finally listened to your soul. That voice that sees you, the one that says there's more for me, it's not lying. You're not crazy for wanting more. You're not selfish for wanting peace. You're not weak for needing help. You're human, and being human is messy, but it's also beautiful. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real you, the one who's felt pain and still shows up, the one who's scared but keeps moving, the one who has every reason to quit and chooses not to. That's power. And that power, it's already inside you. Let me tell you a little story. There was a man who found an old, dusty sculpture in the back of a forgotten warehouse. It was covered in layers of cement and grime. People walked past it every day, never noticing it. To them, it was just another chunk of rock. But this man, something told him to look closer. So he did. He started to chip away at the layers, day by day, piece by piece. And underneath all that mess, he found a masterpiece, a beautiful detail statue, not something he created, something he revealed. That statue was there all along. It didn't need to be built. It just needed to be uncovered. You are that sculpture, your strength, your voice, your wisdom, your light. It's already there. It's just been buried by opinions, by fear, by life. But what if today, right now, you started chipping away? What if you stopped trying to become a new person and started honoring the one you already are? Not the version that's polished and perfect, but the one that's real, raw, honest, whole, because you don't need to earn your worth. You were born with it. You don't need to wait until you've healed completely or figured it all out or have all the answers. You just need to start showing up as yourself, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if it's messy. And yeah, people might not get it at first. They might not understand your growth. They might say you've changed. And that's okay, because the truth is, you're not changing. You're returning. You're becoming the version of you that you were always meant to be before the world told you to shrink. So if no one else tells you this today, I will. You are not behind. You are not too broken. You are not lost. You are becoming. You're growing even when it feels like you're stuck. You're healing even when it hurts. You're getting closer to yourself every single day. So breathe, be patient with yourself, be proud of yourself, and remember, the person you want to be already lives inside you. You're not becoming them. You're simply remembering who you've always been.